All right,
a bad magician being like, "Oh, this is how I did it."
Why do you pick on magic, bro? Why do you pick on magic?
Because there is no magic left in this world anymore.
He sets you up for that, by the way, Sean.
Welcome to a very special TV show episode of 3.5 Gentlemen, the podcast, where 3 of the 4 hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections or a TV show. While one of us tries desperately to keep up, we'll let you decide which host is which. But for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, are my fellow movie monks or TV show monks, Jeremiah.
Hey, this is for Brandon. I bet you could throw a football over those mountains.
Oh,
Eddie.
Hey, can I have $10,000? My mom really needs it.
I take Cash App. I'm sorry. And Brandon.
I'm back at you, Jer. God.
Freaking idiot.
I'm not going to lie, Sean. The best thing about this episode will probably be about how it only took one take for you. It's pretty solid. Throughout season 6, we're going to be talking about several different TV shows, starting with The White Lotus, season 3, on the hit show HBO Max.
Oh, yeah, Max. Nice logo change yet again. Fucking company.
Oh, no. It's all about, Max is all about the.
Just go back to that.
Just go. It's HBO.
As with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question: how many drinks does it take to get through the film, or in this case, the show that we just watched? Now, at the end of the podcast, we'll rate each episode based on a scale of 0 to 5, with 0 being a perfect episode that you could watch stone cold sober, and 5 being sort of the episode that makes you feel like you just got a gun put it in your face, and then the chair got tipped backward, and now you're on your back like an old, lame turtle.
Take that, Scott Glenn.
Poor Scott Glenn.
Those are bad bodyguards too, by the way, man.
Yeah,
really bad bodyguard.
You're just out smoking. Oh man.
Guy Talk wouldn't have done
that. What do you want, guys?
No one checks anyone if they're like, hey, are you carrying any weapons? Like, what the fuck, guys?
Well, they're old invalid, like grandma and grandpa's house. Like, who's gonna go pack into their house? Anyway, with that, what episode do we have this evening, Brandon? As we near the end of season 3 of White Lotus.
Dare we say, thank goodness? All right. The White Lotus takes viewers into and behind the scenes of the swanky White Lotus resorts. Seasons 1 and 2 took us to Hawaii and the Sicilian coast, respectively. And with the 3rd season, we are in the heart of Thailand. With the penultimate episode, we have, as always, a series of events that set up the final episode next week. In case you're wondering, included in the continuous chess piece match, Belinda and her son Zion go to the party at Greg Gary's, where Belinda has a chat with Greg Gary. Saxon is offered a deal by Chloe. Guy Talk and Mook go on a date. Lori gets some Russian action and realizes who is responsible for the jewelry heist. We already figured that one out 4 episodes ago, guys. And Rick finally comes face to face with the man who allegedly killed his dad and just tipped him backwards in the chair. Now, as of this recording, the season has an IMDb score of 7.9 for the episode and an average critic score of 90% and an audience score of 83% on Rotten Tomatoes for the season.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not going to lie, and I think all of us are in agreement. There was a lot of pressure on this episode to continue the growth of the last couple of episodes. Ever since the Moonlight Party or the New Moon Party, we've all been kind of excited about what's going on. And I don't want to say this episode was a letdown because it was a very good episode, but I don't think it necessarily accomplished what it needed to do for the show. And so with that, I kind of want to get your guys' opinion. Overall, do you think that this episode, it did its job as the penultimate episode, or did it fall short?
So a lot of it, what I felt like with this episode was answering questions that we kind of already knew. It was like a day late, $1 short. Cool, we finally wrapped up. We know who stole the jewelry. Cool. The girlfriends are all upset at each other. We knew that was going to happen. We could see that from the episode 2 almost. Finally Gat Talk got his done, and he also had a date. The Ratliff. I mean, Satson finally finds out that something's up with his dad after his dad's just been high for the past week. It's just everything is a day late, $1 short. It feels like it's just like we could have wrapped that up all throughout the whole 4 episodes earlier, and saved some time here. But that's how I feel. Like I was disappointed. Still happy with most of it, but just like I was like, oh, you guys just wasted an episode. I still feel like.
Yeah, I think for me, this is a good episode. If this was episode 5 in an 8-episode season, because it's right, Eddie. You said it perfectly. They gave us all the answers that we already knew. We had already put the pieces together. So I don't know if Mike White and the other, story developers were thinking that we were going to be in the dark with a lot of the stuff to this point. And if that's the case, then I question their understanding of their storytelling, throughout, because they really did not give us anything new here. I think it was it's really tough because it's a really well-produced episode. It's a really well-made episode. The characters are the exact same characters, though, that we've gotten now for 6 other episodes. I mean, we have not, and I'm going to say it, Eddie, we have got 0, and I mean 0 in the name of character development for any single one of these characters. I mean, I guess the most that we can say is that Belinda and Greg Gary finally came face to face, and I guess it was nice to see that that scene happened. But beyond that,
yeah, I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily agree with that, Brandon. But continue and finish.
A little bit of Lachlan.
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, no, I feel like every single character is the exact same character that they were 3 or 4 or even 5 episodes ago. I want to see something happen, and we were just talking about it off recording. Is that for a lot of the HBO and the Max shows, the penultimate episode is when all the shit happens, and then the last episode is like mopping up the mess. And I think that I was hoping for that. I think that we all were kind of hoping for that. So all I can say is that, I mean, they put a lot of pressure on themselves for episode 8 now, because I think everybody is kind of to the point where it's like, okay, we've been bored out of our minds for a couple of weeks. This better be worth it. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Jer? Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, my friends, there are slow burns, and then there are some fucking slow burns in this episode. Now, I have to admit, the whole episode, I was like completely on edge with every scenario of like each like possible like storyline was happening. I was literally on the edge, and I felt like something truly dread was going to happen or something like that. I have to disagree with you, Brandon, on just one character development, and I think it's Rick. The way how he kind of chose not for violence, but saw a weak old man and kind of walked away from that. I think there was some type of a development there. To be quite honest, dude, I have a feeling that this season we're not going to end up with a bang, but it's going to be a fucking whimper with one of our deaths or something like that. It just seems like maybe we just came in too hot with this season, and this is what it is, I mean, John, what do you think, man?
I disagree slightly with Brandon. I think we've had some character development in probably 3 or 4 characters. I think Rick has been a perfect example of someone who has come full circle, even though we knew what was kind of going to happen today with this episode. He did, he came to Thailand for a mission to confront his father's murderer. He did that, and now he's free. I think part of the problem with his storyline is that it was a little overshadowed by the brilliance of Sam Rockwell. I think that Sam Rockwell coming in was a mistake. He's and I love Walton Goggins and I love Sam Rockwell, but he's so good and so charismatic. I felt like he stole some of the thunder of that storyline away from Walton Goggins, and I think that it was lessened by his being there, which is sad because his being there was probably the highlight of the show, that's the sad part, right? So he just outshone everyone. Secondarily, you've got Saxon, who I think is starting to learn a lot about himself, and that he's not this prudish frat boy anymore. He is starting to explore some other aspects of his sexuality, and I thought this was all going to be from the little brother. It turns out it's not. It's from Saxon. Saxon's having a crisis, and he's trying to figure out what defines him, and I think that's fun to watch, and it's fun to see him evolve from where he started to where he is now. Yeah. But I want to start, I kind of want to start with the Belinda Zion Glengarry, or Gary, what was it? Greg Gary and Belinda and Zion triangle thing here, and see, what do you guys think about that? The offer, what is he trying to accomplish, and was there enough predicate to make him make that offer?
Yeah, so I'm going to take that one real quick. I think it was to me, and I mentioned this a minute ago, to me that was really the only kind of interesting, like, ooh, okay, that's something I was expecting, maybe something a little bit different. I don't know exactly what it was, but the fact that he came out and just straight up was trying to, bully her around and buy her out. I think that was really, really something that to me, at least that's the way I read it, is that he's saying, I'm going to give you $100,000 and I want to live peacefully. So stop digging up these skeletons in this closet. I thought that was really interesting. I do think that I agree 100% with Zion that if everything is the way it looks, then she needs to take this deal, or else he's gonna continue coming after her, because he made it kind of clear in a mafia sort of way that I need this to be taken care of, and I'm buying your silence.
In order to inherit the money, they would have had to have done an exhaustive investigation in Italy. That investigation would have asked everybody everything. It would have been very deep and dark into the crevices of the situation, right? Greg Gary was part of that group. There's some questions to be asked there. She killed a bunch of people on a boat. That's literally what she did. And then she fell off and died in a very suspicious circumstance. There's a lot of shit going on. So I understand him kind of going, once the investigation was over, his brush has been tarred, his life ruined. Why not go to Thailand? Why not get away from all that? She had $250 million is what they said in season 2. Yeah, I'll give her $100,000 just to go the hell away and you let me have my peace. So I understand that part of it. Just because you offer someone a settlement does not mean that you're guilty. Now, on the other hand, I could totally see him being guilty. 100% see him being guilty. 100%. Jeremiah, go ahead.
You went from right to left. You're fucking Switzerland right now. Yeah. You're like, oh, I'll just be in the middle here.
No, you're good.
Sorry,
no,
guys,
I was just talking about Greg Gary, and that I don't think making the offer of $100,000 necessarily says I'm guilty.
Lowballed it.
It doesn't say I'm guilty, but it also doesn't say that I'm innocent. If there's no, it doesn't move the dial either way.
I'm saying it looks guilty to me.
I think he lowballed it.
Oh yeah, $100K. I mean, come on, dude.
So it makes me also think. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but Belinda's man, the masseuse.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it at all.
We didn't see him at all.
Or Gary Grade's girl, Chloe. I feel like one of them's it'd be the person that dies. It's connected to them for some reason. This whole White Lotus from season 1, 2, and 3. I do think they missed the mark at Gary's party. This is a time where you could have brought all the characters in together. You could have brought Jocelyn, like that little trio of girls. It's lackluster. It's like very old playing. Every time they're on the screen, I'm like, oh, it kills me when I see all three of them together.
Doesn't it remind you of like the Real Housewives of something? Dude. And it's just like, oh my God.
I've been saying that for the last 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But how cool would it have been to actually, why not Jocelyn? Like, she is the famous one. Have Greg invite her to the party. That's where you could and then have Satson and Jocelyn. I don't know, like, you can have so many different opportunities of it. They're keeping everyone in their own lanes, which I feel like they didn't do that in the past seasons.
A little bit.
Everyone kind of interacted a little bit more. This one, I feel like everyone's in their own lanes, really tight.
Well, I think it's because we have less crossover than in the past, right? I think that not one of the other 2 seasons has everybody kind of converged, but I think that we've had more. These 2 characters or storylines have come together. These 2 have come together. These 3 have come together, and in that sense, it's kind of this cool little web here. But I mean, I think I do want to talk about the Rick interaction, because this is the one thing that has been building up to an absolute crescendo, and literally when Rick walks out after tipping the chair back and tells Frank, we got to go, I have never in my life felt so let down by by something. And
I got the opposite on that.
I was so proud. I was so proud of him.
Oh.
Jeremiah, what did you feel?
I got the opposite of that. I felt like he was able to see a broken man, a weak man, but to have that one opportunity to be standing over him in a way, let him be weak and broken like that.
He left too soon.
So that's the thing, is we didn't get any confirmation about anything And I mean, literally, I get what you're saying. I really do. And I love that it was probably mirroring more of a realistic situation than the Hollywood version that I wanted. Right. I'm not sitting there having Scott Glenn's character be like, yes, it was me. I'm so sorry that I did it. Oh, forgive me. I'm not looking for that. But I mean, literally, it was this moment that was built up to so much. And all we have is, I don't know that name. And no, I don't know that. And then this, and then tilt back. I mean, it's we got absolutely nothing from that. We got some facial expressions from Scott Glenn to confirm or deny any knowledge about his mom and his dad, but we just got nothing.
I still think he's his dad. I think he knew that name.
I don't think the storyline's over, obviously,
and I think he's going to show that he's his dad.
Mm-hmm. So does Scott Glenn tell her, because then they're going to go back to White Lotus, and Rick's at White Lotus. So he doesn't necessarily know that Rick's at White Lotus. She is going to take them there inadvertently, and there's going to be a second confrontation. I mean, that makes sense as to what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah.
She's going to be pissed off, too, because now she's like, I got played, and there's going to be no movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, while Sam Rockwell stole the show, like he generally does, Scott Glenn was a disappointing ad. Like, give me something, Scott. Like, why would you're Scott Glenn. Why would you take that role with 5 lines and no real catharsis? Like, I would why not tell a story? Why not tell fucking Rick the story of when I was young and when I was up and coming?
Sean, now
and,
we're on
there was this guy and he got in my way.
Yeah, like I slept with this girl, and I and the guy found out, and he was pissed off, and that's where you can Rick to like, hey, you my dad. They could have anything could have been better than what they did. I feel like they left.
Were we expecting like Kill Bill Volume 2, the final confrontation?
1,000%,
Scott Glenn, bro.
I was expecting Rutger Hauer, I was expecting Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner. I was expecting some of the great monologues in history. I was expecting not perhaps Network, but at least Jaws. At least when he told the story about
Jeremiah,
I was expecting a punch in the face.
Went in the water and 360.
Yeah, I expected a punch in the face, or like at least the 5 death thing on the chest that she did.
Ping
5-finger death punch. Okay,
5-finger death punch.
Listen, like, I understand that. I think it was more about Rick's point of view of the whole situation, but I really think, and I'm hoping that we get that second confrontation between those two, and then get the kind of like, the reveal that, yes, I am your father, and just breaks that whole thing down.
Can I ask a serious question? I got the idea that Piper is using the monk and the monastery as a predicate to get her parents away, and then she's going to run away. And she's going to go do something else. Do you think she's hook, line, and sinker into this lifestyle, like into this monastery?
Oh, I'm going to disagree with you, Jerry.
She just wants to get away, and she...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, Jerry, you
Brandon.
go first, and then I want to rebut, and then Eddie, I want to hear what you have to say.
What I'm trying to say is this, that she thinks that she's going to have one thing, or she wants this one thing. In the end, she's not going to want it. And the fact that, the reason why her brother wants it now, that makes her like, oh, I don't want it anymore. It's going to be like just like this spoiled brat type of a situation. And what's going to happen is more likely the brother's going to stay there and she's going to leave.
Yeah. I like that idea. I think you're wrong. But I like your idea. And I'm saying this because of this.
You're so kind.
Fuck that. Next time you're going to go first and I'm going to go. I like the idea, but you're fucking wrong. Fuck that.
Oh shit.
I'm not going to be your heel.
Here's
you
what I'm saying.
fell right into that one, Jeremiah.
Yeah. Fuck that. I'll remember that next time.
I respect
Why do
you.
you think I always go second?
No. So here's my thing. I think this is genuinely something that she has wanted her whole life. And that this is something she has, in her mind, devoted herself to. She talks about it being a year. I think in her mind, she's thinking longer than 1 year. I think she's thinking this could be her life, right? She could become one of the enlightened ones. I really think that's where she's at. And so when she sees somebody else want some brand new person, whether it's her brother or not, some brand new person who hasn't devoted himself to the reading the ideologies, who hasn't devoted himself to the countless hours of planning for this to become his life, and he just kind of on a whim says, yeah, I think I'm going to do that too. It takes away the specialness for her. I don't think it takes it away to the point where she's going to reject it though, Jared, and that's what I'm saying. I think that she is going to reject Lachlan. I think she is going to reject her family, and we have to look at Buddhist ideology on a whole, right? The whole point of Buddhism is to say that the world is all about suffering, and it's about embracing that suffering and moving beyond it. And so I feel like she is somebody who has embraced where everybody else has tried to either fight it or run away. I think that Piper is very much in it for the real reasons and the right reasons. I do think that she's jealous though, because you got this little newbie coming in saying, I'm going to do this thing too.
Right.
I think her mom, this is probably one of the better scenes I like of her mom. She called her out a little bit, like, okay, stay one night fully in the Barrett, stay one night. And the whole scene of her mom, and then you can see Piper like almost like,
she didn't like it.
All right. Like
she didn't like the web.
That's what I was talking about. Right. That's what I was talking about.
So she called her out on it, and she's like, and then it makes you think like the mom was like, I know you. Like, I know you don't like the idea of this, but you're not going to really want to do this.
Is anyone else upset that Papa Ratliff hasn't checked his phone too? Like, it's been a considerable amount of time. Like, talk to your lawyer and see what's going on. Like, I mean, it could all be over.
It's stupid.
Everyone else hasn't checked their phone, like Satson or Lachlan. Yeah. Like, all of a sudden, like, come on, guys. Like, especially, like, they're teenagers. Or young adults. They should be checking their phone a little bit. It makes it not believable.
Well, the whole idea is that the phones have been eliminated.
I really don't like the format of season 3. And the reason for this is I absolutely fell in love with the idea that you had, with season 1, you had 6 episodes and it equaled out to 6 days. Season 2 is 7 episodes equaled out to 7 days. I loved the idea that each episode was one complete full day. And then they went off of this with the moon party or whatever it was. And right now I have absolutely no idea on what day it is. Like, are they all supposed to go home tomorrow? Because that's what it was so great. I thought about season 1 and 2 is that I knew that last episode equaled last day. So all the shit's going down right before they go home. And so this is just a personal thought that I kind of want to throw out to you guys. Which format did you like better? Like, do you like the idea of like a continuous storyline, which is what we got here, which kind of weaves in and out during the night, during the day, where, you have maybe one day is told over 2 episodes? Or did you like the more, individualistic episodic, this is a day episode, this is a day episode? It's just more of a kind of question to you guys.
It never crossed my mind to me. And maybe because like I'm so focused on the mystery of the show and who's end up going to be dead at the end of this season,
There's characters here that you care about losing.
Fucking White Lotus is the lost of this generation. Technically, it could be the loss. I don't want to say it prematurely.
Watch your mouth.
It has potential to be. I know. I apologize to you guys. I really apologize. But I mean, like, just like great shows like Lost, every season there was a down season, and this is probably one that I feel like they just missed the mark on the storytelling. They took advantage of what Brandon was saying of the night and day episodes. They wasted time by doing that. They still need to push the timeline a little bit faster and answer questions. They're just wasting time. Like, I don't give a shit about Guy Talk or Satson drinking his 5th milkshake or like a little bit of Walter even. Like, I want to meet this guy in Bangkok. Like, like, you don't need to have a whole episode about it. Like, just go to Bangkok and just meet it. Like, they have all this like preparation, a lot of preparation in this season. I'm like, it's wasting time.
I remember Lost season 3, the last 2 episodes. The last episode was a game changer and changed everything about what people thought about the show.
That's because people got DUIs on the show and they killed a bunch of people off.
Wait, tell me. You're really gonna say shit about that with the whole flash forward? You are such a fucking liar. Nice try.
I forget about that.
Oh, but what a Lost fan you are.
Sorry. Isn't season 3 where they kill off like Michelle Rodriguez, Libby?
No, it was actually when they kill off Charlie, season 3, and they also.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Submarine.
What a lost fan you are. Don't talk.
Not Penny's boat.
Oh no! Jeremiah, you are correct. I apologize. That was oh my God! Of all the, I remember being at Brandon's, and
I remember that too.
We were watching that episode, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's gonna die! Oh my God, my favorite character."
And I said, "No, Sean,
no,
he's not. He's not.
Yeah, he's coming back. Who's coming back?"
You had DVR, right? You had DVR. I think you had a DirecTV DVR.
No,
we were like, pause it. What the fuck was on his hand?
No, it was so funny.
That.
Is I remember it specifically. Is it was before? So he's on his way. It was the last commercial break, and he hadn't yet put his hand up, and it was filling up. The water was filling up, and it went from that cut to the nightly news, and the nightly news said, "And Lost loses one of its biggest stars." And remember, and there was a picture of him dead, and it was just like, "Oh, you fucked that one up, nightly news." Right before the last commercial, it was devastating. It was the most devastating thing ever.
But remember that season? That season was just just couldn't find its way. It was just off, and then it landed. It landed the very last part of that season. Season it might do it.
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm in there for one more episode. Like I said off mic, I mean, even if this episode 7 is bad, and even if it doesn't, the season is bad.
Well, we're going episode 8 now, right?
We're still episode 8. Excuse me. Wait.
Yeah.
No. How many?
We had 7. We just saw 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is 7. So even if episode 8 is bad, and even if the season ends up being bad, I'm still here for season 4. I'm still coming back to the show. Yeah. I'm still going to watch it. And we were talking about Heroes earlier. Heroes had the greatest first season and gradually got unwatchable. This is not unwatchable. It's not horrible. It's not terrible. It's just not fulfilling what I want it to fulfill. Now, I will tell you this. If season 4 is as slow and as bad as this, I might not come back for season 5, but I will give it one more. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for one more season.
All right. So I want to ask, right before we wrap up, I want to ask just a quick, not what do you think will happen, but what do you want to happen? Just one thing you want to happen next episode. So I'll go for Jeremy. Jeremy just wants to find out who the hell the dead body is, right?
I don't know, man, anymore, dude. Like I have no idea who's going to be it, man, or just hope Chelsea's going to be fine. Okay. And I have a feeling that she might be the person too, because I don't know. She just seems like she's going to be an innocent person that falls and shit, but I have no idea.
What do you want?
I'm just going to go for the ride.
Yeah. Ed, what do you want to have happen?
What we have figured out, Guy Talk officially found out that Valentine is working with the Russians. Right. So that's a big thing, right? We also know that Walter Rick is coming back hot. Like he just pushed old man Scott on the ground. the wife. I mean, the husband. He's the husband of the wife who owns the business that he's staying at. So they're coming in hot. So everyone's coming in hot back at this last day. I feel like I want something random because I feel like everyone's expecting this. You know, like who shot who? Is it the monkey?
Not the monkey.
I almost want to be like, is it some type of tsunami? Yeah. Is it a tsunami? Like, is it a freaking tsunami? That's something oddball left. And then there's also maybe a little bit of shooting at the same time as tsunami. Like maybe originally a couple shooting, but no one died from it. There's just gunshots, and then they realize it's a tsunami coming in. Fuck this shit, I'm out. You know, like, and then everyone bouncing. I don't know. Yeah. So I do want to figure out who's in the water, which I do. I said it's going to be the masseuse guy, Belinda's man, or it's going to be Chloe, because I feel like they're just wrapped up in the Greg and Belinda, the twine of 1 season and 2 seasons. Yeah. I don't know.
All I give a shit about is like I hope they don't use that whole blender fucking scenario situation. Like, oh, they're gonna put the dangerous fruit, the death fruit, and kill people or something like that. Like, I hope that they don't go that route.
Here's what I want to happen, which will not happen. I want there to be a heist in the morning, and Guy Talk starts shooting the Russian guys, and one of the Russian guys is the guy who died, and then I want there to be a tsunami. And I want the rest of the episode to be them looking for their families in the tsunami. I want the Ratliff family to change their names and go live off in a different place and like find out that Mama Radcliffe has a bunch of money stashed away. And I want the last the scene. I want Belinda and and Zion to be crawling up to the mansion to avoid the waves of the tsunami, where Gary Gregg is on the other side of his fence, and he's looking at Belinda, and the water's coming, and he's looking at her, and the water's coming, and she gets to the gate, and she's looking at him, and she turns around and walks away, and she can't get into and she dies in the water.
That's pretty intense right there.
Bro.
Jeez. Okay, so I'm going to go.
That's the only thing that can save the season. That's the only thing I'd be like, oh, I didn't see that one coming.
So realistically, I agree with Sean. There needs to be multiple deaths in order to save the season.
Wipe out the whole
I want a couple people to die. Because I'm pissed off at the Ratcliffes. I'm pissed off at the trio of girls. I'm pissed off at people here.
I hate everyone.
The last plot standing is the worst plot.
Yeah.
The best plot was Walton Goggins. The second best plot, believe it or not, was the trio of Desperate Housewives. And then now you've got the third is the Ratliffs. And the Ratliff story is the only one left.
Okay, so I want to know, and I know it sounds dumb, but I've been waiting now 7 times 43 minutes or whatever, however long that is. I've been waiting to figure out what the purpose of Fabian is. Right? Fabian is the kind of the maitre d'. He's the concierge guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's literally the most pointless thing in the entire world. I thought Guy Talk was, and then I keep waiting for Fabian. And here's the other thing, and I'm throwing this out there as our last little thought probably, is I think we keep going back to the fruit. And obviously the preview for the fruit, it included in there. But I think there's something more to the snake bite that Chelsea got. Right? Remember that when she got bit in the leg? And they're talking episode 2, right? I think there's something to that. I saw a reel or something talking about how there's going to be some kind of importance to what's her name recognizing Mama Ratliff. Remember that in episode? I think it was also episode 2 or 1.
That was weird. Yeah,
right. That was weird. I think there might be something of that, but I also think there's something to that snake bite. So I think there's going to be something about venom, about venomness. Venomous snakes. I don't know what the hell's going on, but you can't leave these breadcrumbs to dry and turn into croutons. Is all I'm saying. That's just, it's pointless.
Bro, I love croutons though. I mean,
I love croutons. That's what makes a salad a salad.
That brings us to the end of our review. Now it's time in the podcast where each of the hosts provides a score on the following scale. Frank was so good in this. Sam Rockwell was so fucking good. Hey, can you provide our scale, please? Sam was so funny.
0, the perfect episode. You don't need shit to enjoy it. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, you're on the Uber lifting home. 4, rough morning to walk of shame. 5, blackout shit-faced spring break drunk. This episode's hard to rate.
Can I ask for clarification?
But it's definitely better than...
Listen, I don't want to be super negative because I know
it's better than 2, 3, and 4. But it's not better than 5, 6, and 7.
Are you guys scoring it based off of what it's done to the season, or are you isolating
I'm basing it off of what I like. Just did I like the episode or did I not like the episode? Because if you do it, yeah.
Just remember, I love you guys.
Okay, so I just watched the trailer for the last episode, and I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that there's no tsunami that wipes out every
No, there's no tsunami.
So they might be holding that. They might be holding it.
In my opinion, Mike White already failed. So we're just gonna.
What if that's how the last scene? You just get
the last scene,
the tsunami, and you're just like,
like take shelter.
Evacuation.
Oh, good movie.
Take shelter.
Oh yeah, it's evacuation.
There's a person like this, Brandon, like this the whole time. Yeah, let's do it. 3, 2,
okay.
1.
Brandon, why don't you get
Sean, what's yours? I don't see yours, Sean.
Sorry.
My original score was extremely high because for me, this is really hard to abstract an episode from where it falls in the season. For me, a penultimate episode like this, right? The one right before the finale, it needs to be bringing the heat. And this one just frankly was bringing a whole lot of wet, cold towel water. And I just didn't appreciate it. I really was expecting something that was going to get me waiting on the edge of my seat, like couldn't stop waiting for next Sunday to happen. I got to be honest. I at this point, I really don't care what happens next Sunday, except that it's the end of the season, and I'm going to hope that season 4 just brings a little bit more life. Sean said something earlier that I think is so true, and I mentioned this, I think in episode 3 or 4, is that I want characters to root for or to root against, right? I got to either like a character or I got to hate a character, and I just don't really care. Jerry, you're actually right. The one character that I actually give any kind of shit about is Chelsea. I think that she's a fantastic little character. I think that Rick is an interesting character, but at the same time, when you build up so much, not just Rick, but when you build up so much for these characters to come to terms with whatever demons they need to come to terms with, and then when they actually see that demon and it's just a disappointment, it's really, really hard for me to kind of sit there and be like, oh yeah, this is a great episode, even though as a standalone, quality wise, yeah, it was a well-made episode. It was a well-acted episode. The problem is the writing, the structure, and the season around it. So you guys did talk me down a lot of it, and I'm going to look at this for its positives, which is it's setting up, hopefully putting the ball on the tee, so that we can drive this to the green. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see in a week.
Brandon, let me just qualify that a little bit. Here's what I would hate to have happen. I would hate to have happen that you go see the last episode and you're blown away, and this becomes one of the better seasons of White Lotus, and you've tarnished the whole season with a poor review because you expected something in one episode, but it was in the next episode. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you can't judge a horse on its race until the race is run. You can only judge that little increment.
And here's my one rebuttal, and then I'm going to give you my score, is that I don't think that we should be building an entire season off of one episode. And that's all I'm saying, is that we cannot keep waiting for an 8-episode season to be worth something because of one episode, or, what's probably going to happen, 1 20-minute segment of an episode. It just, to me, that doesn't make a good
And then
season.
the episode will be a 5 and it will balance it out.
Well, I hope so. I'm giving this a 2.31. 2.31, Eddie. 2.31.
Okay.
Eddie, let's go to you. You can talk. 2.31.
Yes. So, Brandon, I respect your score. I respect your other score too, but this one better than the other one. This is how White Lotus has always done. It's up and down, nonstop. But then it did answer questions, and it prepared the next episode technically. Because now everyone's coming back to the White Lotus hot and bothered. And that's the idea of it. And this is technically last episode, season finale is an hour and a half. I'm hoping it has to be hour and a half. If it's anything less, I'm going to rate it 1 score less because of if it's not enough time. Because there has a lot of time that needs to be questioned, a lot of answers that need to be answered. So I'm honestly going to give this below a 2. I'm going to give this a 1.88 because I do think this is a good episode. Is it better than the previous 2 episodes? No, but it's an episode that still can hold its own value. It could right between episodes 6 and 8. It had some value in it, and I think it's 1.88. It's an episode that I think we were on the edge of our seats. It just didn't hit. It didn't just give it to us. So that's where I personally think where it's at.
All right, so here's why I think you guys are high and a little aggressive on your scores. We answered massive questions in this episode. Even if we suspected them, we absolutely confirmed them. We confirmed that Rick and his confrontation came to a head, and that he, regardless of if you liked the outcome or not, you had a resolution between he and the old man. You had the final breaking point between the Desperate Housewives, where she went off and Carrie Coon did her own thing. She went to the MMA match. They stayed behind, and Leslie Bibb did what she always does, is played both sides. You have the Ratliffs unwinding, Saxon's having a questioning who he is as a person, what he's tied to. He's realizing that his whole life is basically riding on the coattails of his father, and he's okay with that as long as everything's okay. Once that falls apart, what does he have left? He said he has no hobbies. He has nothing. He's alone. You have Piper, who I think is way second-guessing her decision to go to the monastery. And then I think you have the son, who actually is considering going into the monastery. So you have all these answers that came from this episode. I don't think you like the answers because we already figured them out. And that is a little frustrating for for us because we're into the show. We're dissecting the show week after week. The normal viewer doesn't dissect the show week after week like we do. So I think that it's harsh to suggest that nothing happened in this episode when 90% of our suppositions were confirmed. I think that's important. Now, that being said, I think that this is where Jeremiah always calls me Switzerland. I do think that this episode, for a penultimate, did not produce what it should have produced. This should have gotten me like jacked for the final. Actually, we should have seen the pop and heard the gunshot in this episode, even if we didn't find out who died. We should have felt like, my God, I can't wait till next week because we're going to finally find the answers to the last couple of questions, and we didn't get that. So for that, I docked it. I give this episode a, oh God, now I got to go back to my calculator. 1.25. I gave this episode a 1.25. I think this is a feel-good first cocktail with an extra half a shot. I do think this is a very good episode. It fed us. I'm sorry, but after weeks of not getting any answers and any resolution, it did give us resolution and answers. Jeremiah.
I agree with half what you're saying, Sean. For me personally, I thought the whole episode, I was on the edge. I felt like there was like this intense thing that was going to happen with each scenario, each story. And I appreciate that, in this late of the game, in this late of the season. Now, I do admit that the episode was heading to a direction, and I think there must have been some type of original screenplay that kind of diverted from what it should have been and what we got there. I'm kind of shocked that we didn't get the whole debauchery situation with Sax and Chloe and Dr. and Greg, or the whole the confrontation between Rick and his father. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Let's just see how it goes here, man. This was a good episode, man. And you know what? I can't wait for episode 8. Let's go with it, man. A 1.50 right here. It's a feel good first cocktail with a shot.
Eddie, when we take those scores and divide by 4, what does White Lotus season 3 episode 7 get an average rating of?
Thank you, Ty host. It gives us a 1.735. A 1.735. And Jeremiah, where does that 1.735 put us on the list of episodes we've done so far for season 3? This or this.
It is the 4th best episode of season 3 for White Lotus.
Or the fourth worst, depending on if your glass is half empty or half full.
I'll go with 4th best. It's the 4th best.
Yeah, really is that.
All right.
Guy today.
So we have a series average of a 1.671. So that's a feel good first cocktail with a shot, just a little over a shot. That's what the series average for White Lotus season 3 is.
Be over 2.
Okay, Brandon, I agree with you. And let me just tell you this. If I will make you this promise, if season 3 episodes 8 does not deliver, I will give it as high a score as I possibly can to change and fix the score, because honestly we've been waiting for 8 episodes for this season to be good, and we've predicated our scores based on the idea that it's getting better, and if it doesn't get better, it's fucking down.
Agreed. I feel like the all of White Lotus audiences have done the same. They're like, oh, it's about to draw off. It's about to draw off. It's about to draw off. It's going to hit hard if it doesn't draw off.
Yeah. Watch out to all the boys on left before. Watch out.
No, just watch out for The Last Jedi. It could be just like that, dude.
Jeremiah used to say that Last Jedi was going to be a cult classic one day. Have you abandoned that?
No, I just saw it recently. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. It's dumb. Fuck. I'm still pissed off with Luke Skywalker and the whole story. Fuck that, dude.
Oh, he is too, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, if you enjoyed the podcast, we ask you to subscribe wherever you're listening. You can find us on any platform podcasts are offered. You can jump over to YouTube for our regularly scheduled movies. You can ring that bell and subscribe. We're doing about 50 movies a year. We're about 155, 160 in there, Jeremiah. Is that about right? Are we getting up there?
We're going to be 158 by next week.
Nice.
158 movies. I guarantee that you can go back and you can find something that you'll like. Next week, we're going to bring you the last and final episode of White Lotus, Season 3. We're very excited about that. And then right after, we start The Last of Us Season 2.
Hey, it's a 6-episode arc. Let's see how it goes.
Let's go. So with that, I want to say cheers, gentlemen. I really enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week for the final episode of White Lotus. season 3. Cheers.
Cheers. We should all dress up like, like beachwear, like, like hula shirts.